Well, we also have an ABC4 exclusive shining the light on a pressing topic right here in Utah. We're talking about human trafficking. It's a $150 billion global business and an illegal business that's booming right here in our state. ABC4's Brittany Johnson went for an exclusive ride along with law enforcement as they took down a trafficking ring. She joins us live in studio with that story. Hey, Brittany.
Hey, Emily. Well, there is a red spot hovering right there over Salt Lake City. It means the area is a marketplace for human trafficking. People here in Utah, mostly young women and girls, are being forced into the dark underworld of the illegal sex trade. Now, in a sting operation, which did take place before the COVID-19 pandemic, I'll show you how modern day slavery is taking place right in front of your own eyes. Utah has a dark secret. And tonight, with the help of the state attorney general's office, ABC4 News is bringing it to light.
Well, not right now. You're being detained.
Human trafficking. Law enforcement officers say it's modern day slavery.
It's happening every day all throughout the state. We have a task force, a strike force that's their main focus 24/7, 365 days a year.
Leo Lucy is chief of investigations at the Utah Attorney General's office.
It can look like anything, and it can be being run from the street corner to a sophisticated business front. And we've had everything from doctors, lawyers, cops, salesmen, you name it, that have been caught up in it.
Both traffickers and Johns.
Right.
I mean, so it can be boys, girls, men, women, but in certain cases, a lot of the times it starts on the internet, or it starts through social media or smartphones.
Regardless of how it starts, human trafficking is reaching epidemic proportions. In 2019, the Polaris Project, a nonprofit organization dedicated to fighting modern-day slavery, identified more than 22,000 victims and survivors, over 14,000 victims of sex trafficking, almost 5,000 labor trafficking victims, and over 1,000 victims of sex and labor.
They're forced against their will, often with very severe, almost terroristic tactics by the perpetrators, threatening the victims' parents or families, siblings, forcing them into the sex trade.
The traffickers don't discriminate. Anyone can become a victim, but the perpetrators often target the undocumented, and they intimidate and use physical force to break the will of their victims.
You'll have someone who's undocumented, and they're so afraid of coming forward even to authorities, but secondly, they're extremely afraid they're going to get deported, lose their status, so they don't report, and they're exploited, sometimes to the point of death, or again, being raped and abused, enslaved. The psychological torture tactics, the terrorist tactics, play such a devastating role and have such a devastating effect on the victims. They really aren't free to just walk away.
This night, we're staked out with Chief Lucy and Attorney General Reyes.
We have Brittany with us and their camera man, so just call me on the phone.
Our cameras rolling as we discreetly pull up to the motel. The detectives just arrived here on scene. They're about to execute their search warrants and make contact with the alleged victims and alleged traffickers. A tip obtained by the Utah Attorney General's office secure strike force team leads them to believe drug trafficking, human trafficking, and prostitution are taking place within the walls of this motel.
This motel's been around a long time and had issues for years and years.
Brendan Call is the section chief of the investigation division at the Utah Attorney General's office.
We had information that payments were also going into that area, that they may have been involved with some of the prostitution and drug trafficking.
The officers move in and bust up the crime ring. With help from Salt Lake City PD, agents rip apart rooms used by the alleged perpetrators and victims. The officers find drugs, drug paraphernalia, and weapons inside the seedy motel. 5 suspects are arrested and hauled to jail, charged with human trafficking. victims were referred to services.
We had someone complaining of some chest pains. We know that some of them are high on heroin and having issues because of that. And of course, we got them medical attention and helping them out the best that we can.
What we're doing tonight, we could be doing every night of the week. And the only thing that prevents it is resource.
While access to the state makes Utah a crossroads for human trafficking activity and Salt Lake City a hotspot for the trade, Attorney General Sean Reyes says he has a message for perpetrators who take advantage of Utahns.
For all the predators out there, is that we're coming. It doesn't matter if it's the AG's office, if it's Salt Lake PD, or any of the agencies. We're all one law enforcement family, and we all have the same mission, and that's to protect Utahns and help protect families. And so you can't run, can't hide. We're coming.
Brittany, so one of the agents mentioned a very telling sentence that resources prevent them from doing these crackdowns every single night. So what challenges do law enforcement face in this fight?
Well, Emily, challenges do include not having enough funding to pay for the time and effort required to do these investigations, which can take months. Now, another piece of the puzzle here is making sure the right laws are actually on the books to prosecute these crimes, and also changing the narrative. People realizing that all human trafficking victims are not prostitutes. These perpetrators do prey on the most vulnerable, especially young children. Now, if you or someone you know is a victim of trafficking, or to submit a tip, call the National Trafficking Hotline. The number's on your screen, 1-888-373-7888, or you can text 233-733. Glenn, back to you.